Hello, mindful friends. Given that today is the 4th of July, we're going to be talking about freedom and what that looks like in your mindful practice. I love Viktor Frankl's quote about freedom. And he says that between stimulus and your response lies a space. And in that space is your true freedom. So what does he mean by this? And we think about how, we think of freedom as what others allow us to do, the laws that give us permission to do things, or other people who give us permission to do things. Whereas what Viktor Frankl is saying is freedom actually is created within you. And true freedom is your ability to choose who you are in any situation. So it says that it's not someone else in control of your freedom. It's not someone else deciding what it is that you can or can't do. It's within you and what you create in any situation that you're given, no matter what the people around you are telling you to do or not to do, but you create your experience. And Viktor Frankl came up with this, most of his psychology when he was experiencing Auschwitz during World War II. And that others were literally taking away his every right, his every freedom in the sense that we normally think about it, like what others permit you to do. And his whole identity was being taken away. And he said, well, how can I turn this around? And how can I still stay okay, even in this situation? And how can I still carry hope, even here? And that is what he found. Other people can take away whatever they want of your rights, all those external kind of symbols of identity or who you are or how you show up in this world. Those others may be able to control, which he was experiencing. They were literally controlling that in every part of his life. But the one thing that is always yours and that forms your true freedom is who you are being and the response that you have to every situation. And nobody can take away your heart's values, your intentions, and the way that you show up in the world. So the stimulus is going to be whatever is happening out in the world. Those things that we like to think we can control and we'd like to create laws around so that they all go our way and we get all the freedoms that we want as far as laws permitting us to do things. Those are the external stimuli. Those things happening in the external world and what others are kind of contributing into our experience. Whereas the response is what you do with that, who you are in that experience. And that space in between is what we forget that we have. We blame all of our reaction and our responses on what other people have done. They did this. They caused this reaction in me. It's their fault that I'm behaving this way. Where's your freedom in that? None. You just gave that person all of the control over who you are in the world. And you said, because they set these laws or because they did this to me, I am now this way. You have now lost your freedom. You have now lost the ability to choose who you are and how you show up in the world. So what Viktor Frankl is saying is that stimulus is what those other people are doing. And then there is a space that is not direct correlation between outside stimulus, what others do, the external environment, and your reaction. Those aren't right next to each other with nothing in between. That in fact, They're out here, and there's something in the middle. There's this space. There's this time in the middle where you get to choose and where you decide how you're going to respond and who you are going to be. So what that looks like is something happens, someone does something, a new law is created, our president changes. Then there's this space. And here is how we can interpret what just happened. We can observe it. We can observe how it made us feel. We can observe what it brought up in us. We can observe what our opinion on it is and how it's creating reactions in us and interplaying with past experiences and our needs. And then we can ask ourselves, what do I really value? And come back to our intentions. Who do I really want to be out in the world? And how do I want to show up for this and for every experience? And we use that pause in between. And that's where we formulate our freedom. And it's what those people did or what the external situation brought up, it does play on that, right? Because it comes into this and it creates this experience in this space of how we move forward, how we come back to our intentions, how we remember who we want to be. But here in this space is where it's our choice, is where we have the freedom. And then we create the response. So do you see how in, kind of different perspectives you can say, well, what they decide or what laws they're making literally takes away my freedom and changes who I am. Whereas in this approach, it's saying, nope, that happens. Then I get this space, this wonderful opportunity to regenerate and come back to my core and who I want to be. And then it is me, it is I, it is this, it is my intention that creates my response. And in that response lies who you are, what you have decided to do, who you have been in the world, and what you have generated in the world. And that is your freedom. So, Viktor Frankl recognized this in Auschwitz when, he couldn't control the fact that his clothes were taken away, his every possession was taken away. Every family member, I think but one sister, was killed for him in that experience. But he chose to keep his intention. And even within those camps, he was a doctor and he served other people and he held on to hope in there. So he did not allow them to take his true freedom, which is who he is and how he shows up in the world. And so I invite you on this day of what represents American freedom or patriotism, and ask yourself, what does freedom really mean to you? And are you capable of using that space to make your choice of who you want to be, no matter what is happening in the world around you? And do you own that? Do you recognize that, yes, how I react is not a direct product of what's happening in the world around me. It is a product of what I do with it. And so take that back. Don't blame other people. Don't put it on them. Take it back. Decide what you want to do with it. And then notice how freeing that feels. And that, yes, there's moments of difficulty. That space in between can be uncomfortable. It hurts. Your stomach churns. You're questioning. You're doubting. In that time, come back to intention. Back to intention. It hurts, I'm angry. Back to intention. That's your moment to choose. And then what do you choose to do? And who do you choose to be? And be free. That is your freedom. If you enjoy these little talks and would like to join us for a group session or individual coaching, you can visit us at newleafmindfulness.com. And don't forget to like and share. I hope to see you all very soon.